Hello and welcome to Hustle to Flow. This week, we are beginning a little review of the 5 questions. So, as you know, for 30 weeks, I've been identifying and digging deep with patterns that affect the ability to create repeatable revenue. And over those 30 weeks, there are 5 questions that were pervasive for founders in the sense of how it impacts their business. And so we're going to go through each of those questions in a little bit more detail. We're also incorporating a watch party for the Profit Visibility Lab. I'll tell you more about that later. So for this week, we're looking at what actually prevents growth. Hard to see, easy to feel. And this first week's question was very at the top of the list. And that is, what's actually preventing growth? Most founders answer this question too quickly. The usual answers are, I need more leads. I need more sales. Got to have more automation, more people, better systems. It's possible. That may be true. But those are responses. They are not causes. The problem with symptoms is that two businesses can feel exactly the same, but have a different experience. So, business A, demand is weak. Business B, demand is strong. There's no movement is visible, so you're not sure what's going on in either one. But here's what we can tell you from inside the business. Both founders are experiencing pressure. Both founders are working harder. And both founders think that they need another fix. And then growth changes this environment. Okay. When businesses are small, you can get away with a lot of things. You can remember the conversations. You know where the opportunities are coming from. You know what is stalled, and you know what depends on you. But as activity increases, memory becomes management, guessing becomes planning, and reaction becomes operational. And then the question changes. Early on, we ask, how do we grow? But eventually, the question becomes, how do we understand what growth is actually doing in the business? Visibility changes things. If I can't see what creates movement, what sustains movement, what converts movement, and what stops movement, then every problem starts to look the same. And then every solution begins to look reasonable. So, what actually is preventing growth? Sometimes it's demand. Sometimes it's conversion. Sometimes it's capacity. And sometimes it's cash. But before any of those can be improved, they need to be located within the business. Founders don't always struggle from a lack of effort. Sometimes they can't confidently tell where the business is constraining itself, right? Now, when we want to dig a little bit deeper and understand the mechanics of how these things work and what actually slows growth, that's where the patterns come in. And then actually our proof layer, the Profit Visibility Lab, is where we dig deep into them. Now we've done 31 patterns over the last, or 30 patterns over the last 30 weeks. And there is gold in them, their patterns. So what I thought would be fun is if we watch them together. So for the summer, on Tuesdays at 6:30, we're having a summer watch party, the Profit Visibility Lab. I know it's no matrix, right? But I think there's value in sitting together, watching the content, and having an opportunity to ask questions, because some of these patterns are not, they're not very common and they're not second nature yet. So here we are, 30 weeks later. We're going to look at what do we see now that we didn't see before. And I'm right there with you. I'm going to be watching them as well. So we're going to watch the selected episode. We're going to pause where it makes sense, discuss what stands out now, and leave time for questions. Okay? That's Tuesday at 6:30. You do need to register for that session, but you can, I was all proud because I figured out how to do this ticker thing here. So you do have to register. The registration is here in the ticker. And there's one more thing I need you to do for me, okay? Between now and Tuesday, and that's this. I want you to think about what it feels like when something feels off. So we're talking about the question of what actually prevents growth. So the question I'd love for you to ponder before we're together on Tuesday is, do you know what is preventing growth? Or do you only know what growth currently feels like? Do you know what's preventing growth? Or do you only know what growth currently feels like? I want you to think about that. And I will see you on Tuesday, the Summer Watch Party in the Profit Visibility Lab.